Daniel woke up earlier than usual when the alarm rang at 5:30 in the morning. The room was still dark, and the city outside had not fully awakened yet. For a few seconds, he lay quietly in bed, trying to remember why he had set the alarm so early. Then he remembered. Today was Monday, and Monday always brought a mountain of work. He sat up slowly and stretched his arms. Unlike weekends, there was no temptation to sleep longer. His team had a major presentation scheduled in the afternoon, several reports had to be completed before noon, and a client meeting was waiting at the end of the day. It was going to be one of those days when time moved faster than usual. After washing his face and brushing his teeth, Daniel headed to the kitchen. He prepared coffee and toasted bread while listening to the morning news. Rain was expected later in the evening, but the sky outside still looked peaceful. He opened his notebook and wrote down the tasks he needed to finish. First, complete the sales report. Second, revise the presentation slides. Third, attend the department meeting. Fourth, prepare notes for the client conference. Fifth, answer pending emails. Looking at the list made him sigh. It will be a long day, he whispered to himself. By 6:30, he had finished breakfast and changed into a blue shirt and black trousers. Before leaving, he checked his bag twice to make sure he had his laptop, charger, notebook, and office ID card. The streets outside were surprisingly busy. People hurried to bus stops, coffee shops were already serving customers, and traffic lights changed continuously as cars filled the roads. Everyone seemed to have somewhere important to be. During the train ride, Daniel reviewed the presentation slides on his tablet. Across from him sat a little girl reading a storybook while her mother drank coffee. A young man beside him kept checking his watch nervously. It seemed everyone was preparing for their own busy day. As soon as Daniel reached the office, he sensed something unusual. His co-workers were already gathered near their desks, speaking with concern. Emma walked toward him quickly. "Thank goodness you're here," she said. "What happened?" The client moved the presentation forward. Daniel blinked. "Forward? How much?" "By 2 hours." He froze. 2 hours? Emma nodded. "The manager just informed us. We only have until 11 o'clock. Daniel immediately placed his bag on his desk. "Okay," he said calmly. "Let's get started." Within minutes, the entire office transformed into a battlefield. Phones rang constantly. Printers worked non-stop. Keyboards clicked like heavy rain. Employees moved from one desk to another, carrying files and documents. Daniel opened the presentation and noticed several mistakes that needed correction. The numbers in one chart had not been updated. 2 images were missing. Some sections required additional explanations. Emma sat beside him. "I'll fix the graphics." "I'll handle the statistics," Daniel replied. Their teamwork had become almost automatic over the years. They rarely wasted words because each knew what the other needed. At 8:30, their manager, Mr. Carter, appeared beside them. "How's it going?" "We'll make it," Daniel answered. Mr. Carter smiled nervously. "I hope so. This client is important." Daniel looked at the clock. "We still have time." Although he sounded confident, he could feel pressure building inside him. Meanwhile, emails continued arriving one after another. One supplier requested immediate confirmation. Another department needed financial data. A customer complained about delayed shipments. His phone vibrated constantly with messages. By 9 o'clock, Daniel had already completed work that normally took half a day. Suddenly, another problem appeared. The office printer stopped working. No, 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 Emma muttered. People gathered around the machine as if it were an injured patient. It's jammed. We need those documents. The meeting starts soon. Daniel checked the printer and removed several sheets stuck inside. Try again. The machine made strange noises. Everyone held their breath. Then, finally, the printer started working. The entire department applauded. Emma laughed. I think you just saved everyone's lives. Daniel smiled. Let's not celebrate yet. At 10:30, the presentation was finally ready. Everyone gathered in the conference room. The client representatives appeared on the large screen. Mr. Carter introduced the team. Daniel stood up and began speaking. Despite the stressful morning, his voice remained steady. The charts displayed correctly. Emma explained the marketing strategy with confidence. Questions were answered smoothly, and after nearly an hour, the presentation ended successfully. The clients smiled. Excellent work, one of them said. Mr. Carter looked relieved. Thank you very much. As soon as the video call ended, the entire room exploded with excitement. We did it! Finally! I thought we were finished. Daniel leaned back in his chair and laughed, but before he could relax, his phone rang again. It was Sarah from Customer Relations. Daniel, I'm sorry, but we have another problem. He closed his eyes. What happened this time? The Henderson account. Daniel immediately sat upright. What about it? They've requested an emergency meeting. He looked at the clock. Only 1 o'clock. Half the day had passed, and somehow it felt like an entire week. He took a deep breath, grabbed his notebook, and stood up. Because sometimes the busiest days weren't the hardest ones. They were simply the days that reminded you how much you were capable of accomplishing when everyone depended on each other.